She thought it would be just another sunny afternoon ride on her bicycle. But then, two tiny puppies stumbled into her path. Their fur was messy, their bodies trembling, their eyes brimming with tears. Instead of running away, they stood upright, raising their little paws as if pleading. Startled, the little girl stopped, expecting they wanted food or comfort. But when the puppies whimpered louder, tugging at her dress and refusing to let go, she realized they weren't begging for themselves. They were leading her somewhere. Following them, she uncovered a heartbreaking secret hidden in the fields, one so powerful it left everyone who heard the story speechless and in tears. What those brave puppies revealed would change everything. Before we start, make sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. The sun painted the sky gold as a little girl pedaled her old red bicycle down the quiet country road. Her laughter echoed in the still air, the kind of pure joy only childhood knows. But her carefree ride was suddenly interrupted by two small figures darting into her path. They were puppies, tiny, scruffy, and trembling. At first, the girl's heart leapt with surprise. She thought they would scamper away like most strays do, but instead they froze in place. Their paws lifted, almost like hands begging. Their wide, wet eyes locked onto hers, filled with something she couldn't yet understand. She stopped pedaling, her bike wobbling to a halt. The puppies yelped softly, circling her bicycle. Then one of them tugged at her dress with its tiny teeth, while the other pawed desperately at her shoes. They weren't attacking. They were pleading, crying for attention. The girl's smile faded, curiosity turning into unease. Why weren't they afraid? Why weren't they running? Their whines grew sharper, their little bodies trembling with urgency. For the first time that morning, she felt a strange heaviness in her chest. Something was terribly wrong, and these two fragile souls were trying to tell her. The little girl hesitated, clutching her bicycle handles tightly. The road stretched quiet and empty, with nothing unusual in sight. Yet the puppies wouldn't let her go. They whined, circling her feet, pawing at her dress, pulling her gently in one direction, as if they were guides on a mission only they understood. Her heart raced, torn between fear and compassion. What if they led her somewhere dangerous? But their eyes, those pleading, tear-brimmed eyes, left her with no choice. Slowly, she climbed off her bike, pushing it beside her as she followed the determined little creatures, each step carrying her deeper into the unknown fields beyond Harmony Creek. The landscape shifted as they walked farther from the road. Tall grass swayed with the breeze, and the trees stood like silent witnesses. The puppies darted ahead, stopping often to glance back at her, ensuring she didn't stray. Their urgency grew with every passing moment, their cries sharper, more desperate, pulling her faster. By now, the girl's unease was undeniable. Something lay ahead, something these helpless creatures needed her to see. Her small hands tightened around the bike's handlebars as a chill raced down her spine. In that moment, she knew. Whatever awaited beyond the clearing would change everything. The puppies bolted ahead into a small clearing, their cries echoing louder than before. The girl hurried after them, her bicycle clattering to the ground as she let it go. Her heart pounded in her chest, and then she froze. Lying in the tall grass was a sight she would never forget. A mother dog lay crumpled against the earth, her breathing shallow and labored. Her fur was matted, her ribs visible through her thin frame. The puppies rushed to her side, pawing desperately at her body, nuzzling her face, whimpering as if begging her to wake up. She didn't move, the girl's eyes filled with tears. She had thought the puppies wanted food or play, but now the truth struck her like lightning. They hadn't begged for themselves, they had begged for her. They were asking her to save the one being they loved more than anything. She knelt beside the mother dog, reaching out a trembling hand. The dog's eyes flickered open briefly, dull and weak but filled with pain. A faint whimper escaped her, as if she knew her pups had found help at last. The girl gasped, choking back sobs she couldn't contain. In that moment, the weight of the puppy's desperate cries made sense. They weren't asking for comfort. They weren't asking for play. They were fighting to save their mother. And now, standing there with her small hands shaking, the little girl realized she couldn't walk away. Not now. The girl's hands trembled as she fumbled for her pocket, pulling out the small phone her mother had given her for emergencies. This, she knew, was exactly that. With tears streaming down her face, she dialed the first number that came to mind, her father. When he answered, his voice cheerful and unaware, she could barely speak. Her words tumbled out in a rush. "Daddy, please come quick. There's a hurt dog, she's dying, and her puppies are crying for her. Please, Daddy, please hurry." Her father's tone instantly shifted to alarm. He told her to stay where she was and promised he'd be there in minutes. The girl hung up, sinking to her knees beside the weak mother dog again. The puppies whimpered, crawling over their mother, pressing their tiny faces into her side. The sight shattered her heart. Minutes felt like hours. Every breath the mother dog took was labored, as if each one might be her last. The girl whispered soft reassurances, stroking the dog's frail fur. "It's okay. Help is coming. Just hold on a little longer. Please don't give up. Your babies need you." Finally, the sound of an engine roared in the distance. Relief washed over her. Her father's truck screeched to a halt and he leapt out, his face pale with shock as he took in the scene. In that instant, he understood the little girl wasn't exaggerating. This was life or death. The father rushed to the mother dog's side, dropping to his knees as he examined her fragile body. Her breathing was shallow, her ribs stark against her skin. "She's starving and dehydrated," he muttered. His voice cracked, not just with concern but with anger at whoever abandoned her. He opened a bottle of water and carefully dribbled drops onto her tongue. At first, nothing happened. Then her mouth twitched and she swallowed weakly. Encouraged, he offered more while stroking her head. The little girl's eyes widened with hope, whispering, "See, Daddy? She wants to live. She's trying." The puppies crowded close, licking their mother's face, whining as though cheering her on. One nuzzled under her chin, refusing to move, while the other pawed gently at her side. Their tiny whimpers blended with the girl's quiet sobs, creating a heartbreaking symphony of love and desperation. The father pulled out food from his truck, a small loaf of bread, softened in water, and offered it in tiny bites. Slowly the dog chewed, her eyes glistening as strength flickered faintly back into her frail body. The girl clapped her hands in joy, tears spilling faster down her cheeks. Around them, neighbors who had followed gathered in stunned silence. Some wiped their eyes, others shook their heads in disbelief. Tough men who rarely showed emotion now bowed quietly, overcome. What they were witnessing wasn't just survival, it was the raw, unbreakable bond between a mother and her children. Hours later, the weak mother dog lay wrapped in blankets inside the father's truck, her puppies nestled tightly against her. The little girl sat close, stroking their fur gently. The once hopeless family now had warmth, comfort, and a chance at life they nearly lost. At the veterinary clinic, doctors confirmed the worst. She had been abandoned for weeks. Yet the good news was clear. She would survive thanks to the girl's courage and the puppy's determination to seek help. The little girl's heart swelled with pride. She had answered their call. The puppies never left their mother's side during recovery, climbing over her belly, licking her face, showering her with love. Their bond reminded everyone in the clinic of something powerful, that sometimes the smallest voices can carry the greatest strength when fueled by love. As days passed, the story spread through the village. Neighbors brought food, blankets, and medicine. Families visited just to glimpse the miracle dog and her brave puppies. And always they praised the little girl whose kindness had saved an entire family from tragedy. Weeks later, the mother dog walked again, strong enough to wag her tail. The puppies bounced around happily, full of life. Holding them close, the little girl whispered, "You'll never be alone again." In that promise, everyone saw hope reborn.